Y'all already know what time it is. It is time for the mess. What's going on, y'all? This be your boy Scattered by Nature TV, and we're here for another episode of Yes for the Mess, and we're here to talk about Nene Leakes. Now, as you guys already know, ever since last year when she was asked for her services, you know, she was thanked for her services last year when she left the Real Housewives of Atlanta after all those years, after being the only original housewife standing. She was asked to leave, and soon after she was asked to leave the show, she went on social media and was calling out Bravo and Andy Cohen for discrimination and being racist and not even having equal opportunities at the workplace. Okay, and ever since she left, fans have been asking for her back, begging her to come back to the show, and they really think that she's needed, and she also thinks that she's needed too. And it seems to me like for a show that she doesn't pay attention to, she always got something to say about a show that she does not watch. Okay. However, I have an article here from theballeralert.com. I'm going to read it to you, give you my thoughts, and then you leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. So let's get into the mess. Nene Leakes has opened up about no longer being on The Real Housewives of Atlanta and how she views the show since her exit. The former reality star sat down with Hollywood Unlocked with Jason Lee on Tuesday night. When Lee referred to Real Housewives of Atlanta's Tanya Sam as a housewife, Leakes was sure to correct him and let it be known that Sam did not have a peach and was simply a friend of the show. He then commented on Sam's exit from the series following a storyline scandal. He asked Leakes, "Do they not make them the way they used to when you were running the show?" "No, they do not make them like that no more, baby," the restaurant owner laughed. Jason Lee then asked Leakes how she felt about the fans complaining that the series is no longer entertaining without her, and if she also felt the same way. "It's very difficult to go to the burger place down the street and think you're going to get a Happy Meal. I mean, McDonald's started the Happy Meal," she said before adding, "It's very hard to, in a very nice way, go somewhere and think that you can fill the shoes of something that someone else started." Here she go, showing her egotistical ways, which is why she's no longer on the show anyway. Just because you started something, that does not mean that you make the show what it is. Because if we're going to be 100% honest, your fans are quacky and just deluded as fuck. Because for the last couple of seasons, they was complaining about how the show has been boring. And guess what? You were on these last 3 seasons, okay? The last good season we really had was season 9, and guess what? You are nowhere in sight, so it ain't got nothing to do with you. Please have a seat. Leakes even took it a step further and compared her departure from the show to Destiny's Child without Beyonce. "It's kind of hard to have the group Destiny's Child and take Beyonce out and still think you have Destiny's Child. It's kind of difficult to do that." Beyonce! This bitch really thinks that she is more than what the fuck she is. I can't. Who gave her this big ass head? Okay, her nose is already big, okay? Because she done went through about 7 noses already. I'm pretty sure UPS and FedEx and Priority Mail is sick of delivering her a new nose every other year. Like, girl, bye. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Seriously. You gonna compare yourself to Beyonce? The show did go on without you, Nene. It went on without you before. And it was great without you before. So what are you saying? The difference is Destiny's Child is now moving forward without Beyonce. That's the difference. You know what I mean? That's the fucking difference. When they all went solo, they never tried to bring Destiny's Child back without Beyonce. Bravo kept the show going without your raggedy ass, and it was okay. You really think you're missed and you really think you're needed. You're not the only one that's entertaining. The 53-year-old actress and reality star recently celebrated the opening of her highly anticipated Lanithia Lounge, which she announced shortly after she departed from the Housewives of Atlanta in 2020. Since then, Leakes has accused Bravo of unfair treatment and called on the fans to boycott The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And that was the article from BallerAlert.com concerning Nene Leakes comparing herself to Beyonce and thinking that she's way more than what the hell she is, okay? Now, here is what I gotta say, Scotty by Nature TV. Here's what I gotta say, y'all. Y'all might like it, y'all might not. I might care. 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to care. I'm not gonna give a fuck either. So I'm just gonna say what I want to say. My opinion just might be the unpopular opinion. I've had the popular opinion on my channel. I've had the unpopular opinion. So either way, it does not matter to me. But let's just keep it 100. Nene is not the same Nene she was when she first started. Yeah, I know that people elevate and they grow, but she has not grown. If anything, she's declined. Okay? The difference is just like with me. I'm really not the same person that I was when I first started. When I was in the bathroom in my tanks and had bad haircuts and bad quality on videos and shit like that with the fire alarm beeping in the background. I'm not the same person I used to be. I've definitely grown and elevated ever since then. It shows in the way I speak. It shows in the way I try to bring out my content and everything like that. So the energy is different about the energy is different. Everything is different about me these days. However, when it comes down to Nene, she is not the same fun person that she used to be, okay? Nene has went from being funny as hell to being fucking bitter and negative as hell. She has been very negative. And my thing with her is she really got this stuck up in her mind that she's the only entertaining person that could grace the screen on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, granted, the last couple of seasons have been boring and they have not been great. They've been lackluster as hell. But let's remember that Nene was a part of those lackluster seasons. Everybody thinks that the ratings are poor because she's gone. But little did they know the ratings started to drop when she first came back. Let's be real. The ratings started to drop when she first came back. They thought they was doing something when they brought Nene and Kim back, and they wasn't doing shit. The ratings started to drop on season 10. Okay, that's when the ratings really started to decline. Whatever they had. I mean, that's just the truth. I know a lot of y'all don't want to admit it because y'all so far up Nene's ass, but it is what it is. Now, with that being said, do I think that she's the face of the Housewives franchise? Most definitely. I will always give that to her. When you think of the Housewives of Atlanta, you automatically think of Nene when you think about the Housewives of Atlanta. When you think about the Housewives of New Jersey, you automatically think of Teresa and Caroline first. When you think about the Housewives of Orange County, Vicky and Tamara are the first two names you will probably hear about. When you think about the Housewives of New York City, the first few names you hear is probably Ramona and Bethany. When you think about the Housewives of Beverly Hills, it's Lisa Vanderpump and Kyle Richards. When you think about the Housewives of Potomac, you think about Karen and Giselle. When you think about the Housewives of Salt Lake City, you think about Jen and Mary. I mean, it's like you do have your premier people when you think about the Housewives franchise. You do. But let's not act like it can't go on without you, because it has before. It has before. Now, was this last season terrible? Of course it was. Had nothing to do with you not being there. It was terrible because production wasn't good. It was terrible because the cast was lackluster. It had a lot to do with that. It had nothing to do with you being gone. I mean, the last couple of seasons were not that great. They were lackluster too. They had great moments, but they were lackluster. And you were there. So what are you saying? The last great season that the Housewives of Atlanta had was season 9. And even that season was dark as hell. So, and you weren't there. That show held on without you being there. So I don't know why you really believe that the show is in dying need of you. It's not. You know what I mean? It's really not. So just deal with it and just move on. Every time you talk about the Housewives of Atlanta, you tearing it down. You sound like a bitter Betty every time you talk about this show. You're no longer there. You didn't want to be there. Let it the fuck go. Okay? That's all I can say about that. Like, just let it go. You're not wanted. You're not needed. Let it go. For real. Because it is what it is. Now, when it comes down to it, when the fans talk about who they want to see back on the show the most, and they say Nene, Sheree, and Phaedra, first of all, Sheree has been given 2 chances and she still ain't did shit with it. Phaedra is a lying ass bitch and a fraud, so I don't want to see her. If I could choose anybody out of the 3, it is Nene, because regardless of how miserable and bitter her ass is these days, she can still make me laugh sometimes. She still has that charisma about her. So I can definitely understand why people will want her back. But I'm not necessarily crying to have her back. I want to see what the show can do with newer people. What they need to do is bring in newer people and coach and usher in a brand new generation of housewives. That's just what I think. It ain't got nothing to do with Nene being gone. You just need to find some new people. And new entertaining people at that. Who's willing to turn up. That's all I'm saying. So, but I do know that when she did talk about talk about the show and the formulas. When she brought up Basketball Wives and how people can't come for Shawnee and that's what's ruining the show. Now that part I agree with. I definitely agree with that. So she do know what the fuck she talking about when it comes down to that. But girl, don't you ever compare yourself to Beyonce, Coco, T-Boz, fucking any of these lead singers out these girl groups. Do not compare yourself to them, girl. It ain't that deep. Please don't. Like, girl, bye. But with that being said, y'all, this be your boy Scotty by Nature, and this was Yes for the Mess. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Do whatever you see fit. If you want to follow me on any type of social media, my Twitter and IG is at the bottom. With that being said, y'all, I'm out of here till my next video. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.